Here's the truth. Your kids are watching you become the man they'll either copy or avoid becoming. Welcome back to the Hybrid Athlete Dad podcast. In today's episode, I want to be talking about hard truths about health no one wants to hear. Now, before we dive into today's episode, I like to go over anything in my life when it comes to fitness, when it comes to nutrition, that I think you may find helpful. Well, today I don't have too much to share in this department. My wife and I are expecting a baby at the end of March, so a little bit before when this episode goes live. I am doubling up on the podcast episodes this week, where I typically will do the episode and record it and talk about my previous week's experiences, but recording 2 in one day to make sure that it gets out, make sure I don't miss a day, as I imagine life is going to be pretty hectic coming up there rather soon. So would prefer not to have to record an episode next week when I have hopefully our newborn daughter is born. With that said, let's just get to it. Let's just dive into today's episode, which again is the hard truths about health no one wants to hear. Number one, you are not too busy. You are just prioritizing wrong. How much time do you spend on your screen when you're talking social media on productive time versus the time that you actually train? Most people say, I am too busy. I don't have enough time. And I take it with a grain of salt because there are people that are busy. But how much time do you spend watching TV, social media? You should be able to find 30 minutes to an hour a day where you can go through and you can train, you can run, you can lift. Because health is not an optional maintenance. Because why would you grind for your job where you won't invest 30 minutes in the body that lets you do it? Motivation is useless without structure. Stop waiting to feel like it. I never feel like it. I get up in the morning, I go to the gym, I come home, breakfast, drop our daughter off, I go get my run in. The weather is terrible, it's dark, it's cold, I'm up early. I do it anyway because I have the systems in place. Motivation is very short lived. Motivation comes in waves. You watch a documentary, you read a book. I've been there, we've all been there. And it only lasts for so long, where you have to have these systems in place. Schedule your training like a meeting. I'm not going to miss a meeting. I'm going to show up on time to my meeting. I'm going to be productive. And this is going to be the same time, the same day, no negotiation. I know in the last episode I talked about being rigid, but this is my mentality. It has to be something. I'm sick, my daughter's sick, something catastrophic is going on for me to not be in the gym 5 days a week, to not be running 5 days a week. That's just a non-negotiable. You can't outwork bad nutrition. Just because you train hard doesn't mean that you can eat junk all the time. Now, do you enjoy, I don't want to say junk food, but maybe enjoy pizza once a week or a burger? Different foods that are okay to eat in moderation, but you don't want to be eating every single night. Are you eating chips? Are you eating high calorie foods that have no nutritional value to them? Because no matter how hard you train, you're not going to be able to outwork your bad diet. I don't even want to call it a diet. I call it more of the lifestyle choices that you make, because there's going to be hidden calories. Is it the alcohol that you drink? For me, I can't remember the last time I had a drink, and that's not to brag or anything. I just like to be fully in control of my body and what I put into my body. I work so hard at the gym. I work so hard when it comes to running. Why would I want to put something in my body that is just not going to be productive? It just doesn't make any sense. At the end of the day, simplicity is what is going to win. Protein, whole foods, consistency. For me, I know exactly what I'm going to be eating pretty much every day of the week, outside of maybe Friday and Saturday nights where I might go out one night and figure out a dinner for the following night. Again, this isn't to say I don't enjoy the occasional pizza or food that's probably not too good for me. It's all in moderation. I'm not going to make about 90% of the meals I have. So figure I have 27 meals a week. Breakfast, or 21 meals a week, I should say. I don't know why I was thinking the week was 9 days. 21 meals a week. 18 of those meals I have per week are good quality meals. 3 of those meals per week, I just enjoy myself. I'm not going over the top. I'm not like going to Chick-fil-A and ordering 5 chicken sandwiches. I'm going to Chick-fil-A, I'm getting chicken sandwich and waffle fries. Again, it's in moderation and it's not overdoing it, but it's still enjoying what you eat, but understanding that what you put into your body is what you're going to be getting out. Because you don't have a metabolism problem, you have a consistency problem. Truth number 4 is that sleep is the most ignored performance tool. You have late nights, you have worse hormones, you have mood, you have recovery. It could be scrolling on social media. It could be, let me just watch one more episode of my show. And the reality is that you're not tired because you have kids. You're tired because you won't go to bed. I make it a priority every single night to make sure that I have lights out between 9:15 and 9:30, so I know I'm getting at least 7 hours of sleep per night throughout the week. How do I unwind for myself? I like to read a book. I'll read 15 to 30 minutes of a book. Again, it's about 9 p.m. That helps me unwind. That helps me relax. And then I'm able to fall asleep that way, but I'm making sure that I'm getting enough sleep. We've all been there. You don't get enough sleep. You feel groggy. You feel tired. You're irritable. Who wants to be around that person? I know I don't want to be around that person. I look at sleep as, while I am sleeping, my body is recovering and it's building. It's using the nutrition I put in. It's using the exercise routine that I did for the day. It's making me a better overall person. So why would I not want to give my body the most opportunity that it has to help make me become a better version of myself? Now, a hard truth, but it's simple. Your body is a reflection of your standards. You have to think of yourself, I'm a person that trains, that eats healthy, because how you think of yourself is how you're going to act. And your kids are going to see how you act, and they're going to absorb your habits that they see. Because your kids won't do what you tell them to do, they'll do what you demonstrate. Now, I don't want to be harsh, but if you're someone that's, say, overweight, typically it didn't just become that way. It was a series of bad choices, most likely culminated upon lack of physical training, whether that was running, walking, and with a combination of a bad diet. I know for myself, as I got out of college, I didn't care about my nutrition. I was working out, started to gain weight, started to look a little overweight, and I realized this isn't the track that I want to be on. My standard was I'm just going to eat everything in sight, where now my standard is whatever I eat is fuel for my body. And I made that change, lost about 20 pounds, and I've stayed right around that. I find that's a good sweet spot for where I'm at right now. Most people complain as they get older, but aging isn't the problem, it's neglect. You can be strong, lean, and capable in your 30s, 40s, 50s. Not that I'm in my 50s, but I can see my father who's almost 70. I can see how he takes care of his body when it comes to fitness, when it comes to nutrition, and how he has no mobility problems. How when I talk to him, when I I see him in person. He looks like someone that's in their early to mid 50s, 15, 20 years younger. And this isn't to say just because he's my father, but I can see the habits that he had when I was growing up, and realizing that most decline is lifestyle driven and that it doesn't have to be inevitable. I can see folks out there when I go and visit them that are 60, 65 and they're bedbound. They can't get up, they can't walk around. And it's just years and years and years and years of neglect. It just doesn't happen overnight. So I don't want you to say, oh, it's because I'm older. There are a ton of folks that are in their 30s, that are in their 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, that are fit, that are in shape, that have, I don't want to say that they don't have any issues at all, but because they've taken care of themselves, they've been a lot less of a reliability on their family than most people their age. You're either building capacity or you're losing it. If you don't strength train, if you don't endurance train, if you don't focus on your mobility, all of it is going to decline. I focus on strength training, I focus on endurance training, and then I always spend at least 10 to 15 minutes before every workout stretching in the gym, focusing on mobility, because I know that if I am tight in my hamstrings, in my legs, it's going to affect me. If my shoulders are very tight, it's going to affect me in my lifts and then my runs as well. Not so much shoulders, but when I was going through my hamstrings, my calves. So I'm always making sure that I have good mobility because I know that if I don't use it, I'm just going to lose it. Not to rhyme there, but it's just not going to be good. Now I want to walk you through some rapid fire truths. I'm just going to go through them, take them as you will, but getting 10,000 steps a day is good, but it's not going to fix a bad diet. You can take all the supplements of the world, electrolytes, creatine, whatever you may need, magnesium. It's not going to fix poor sleep. If you only work out on the weekends and you don't do anything during the week, your weekend workouts won't undo your weekday inactivity. And you don't need to be perfect. You just have to be consistent. Now, the challenge I have for you this week is if you're already not doing it, I want you to train 3 times this week. I want you to eat 18 out of 21 meals to be high quality. That include proteins, that include fats, that include carbs. And I'm talking good quality fats. Maybe that could be salmon or just other food groups that are out there that contain high quality fats. Maybe if it's on a meal, maybe it's having almonds. It amazes me honestly how much fat is in nuts. But again, good quality fat, not fat that you're just getting from eating cheese pizza. I want you to go to bed just a little bit earlier than usual. Instead of going to bed, say at 10, 9:45, and just see how you feel in the morning. If you're going to bed at 10 and then you try to go to bed at 9, it's not going to work out. But just kick it back 15 minutes, 30 minutes, and see how you are. And I hope that these hard truths opened you up to see that they build strong men and that strong men build strong families. I hope you enjoyed today's episode on the hard truths about health no one wants to hear. And I hope you tune to next week's episode where I talk about how to maintain muscle while training for endurance.